I think the biggest thing to creating time and space is to release your thoughts or to manage your thoughts. I had a conversation with Rick and he said it. We live in our heads. So our wisdom at the moment is from here up. We don't even consider our bodies. We don't even consider the energy from our bodies. And so we're not using the wisdom of our total system working together. So how do we create space with our thoughts? Well, what's happened is we're so used to this automatic pilot that we become identified with our thoughts. We become attached to our thoughts. The thoughts are in us. So through the meditation practice, what we're starting to cultivate is an awareness of our thoughts, so that we become detached, we become decentered or not identified with our thoughts. So this is something you feel as part of the practice, and it does take time to develop. So that when those thoughts come through your mind, and let's face it, they're subconscious thoughts, so we can't control what's going to come into our mind. It comes into our mind. And sometimes they can be crazy thoughts, like really crazy, and I still have them. So they come through, but they don't have the charge, the stickiness as much anymore, because I am aware of those thoughts, but I am not those thoughts. So that awareness, that increasing of the distance, so that I'm not operating from the thoughts, I have a relationship to the thoughts. So that has made a huge difference in my life. When I realised that I don't have to be in the movie, I can watch the movie. So the narrative that we run, which at times is unconscious and takes us off on that automatic route, I can step back from that, and because now I am more conscious, because I'm living more in the present moment. And when we start to live more in the present moment, then we get to appreciate our feelings, because otherwise we're living our lives in our heads. We're analysing and planning, and it's very conceptual. So we want to get out of our heads and more into our bodies. So once I discovered meditation, I then started to create, this space started happening, and I realised because I wasn't so attached to my thoughts. So managing your thoughts is key, and awareness just gives us that space so that we can consciously decide when we want to think, and we can be aware that we're thinking, rather than thinking just running our minds and we're not even conscious of it. So meditation, the practice of meditation through concentrating on an object. Jack Cornfield calls our minds, they're just like puppies and they need training. So with our meditation practice, we concentrate on a focal point, an object, and generally for beginners, we start with the breath. And through that training, we then start to feel a little bit more settled in our bodies, and we start to create equanimity, which is this space of awareness. So the space is in the awareness, and that gives us a strength and a feeling of calm. And it also gives us that little buffer when life has its ups and downs. We're not so jagged and not so caught up in things. We can rest a lot easier in ourselves.